back to A Sweet Journey. I am Sonia, also known as Sweets. And today I am so excited. I have one of my good friends, someone who I love very much. And without her, I probably would not be doing this channel. And this is Venniece.
Hi,
So, yay! So today is really important. And as you all know, and I say this often, but I went on the Oprah 2020 Vision Tour and I took away some things. And there were things that kind of gauged health and in different areas of your life. And one of the biggest areas of health is connections and relationships. I could include Venniece in multiple areas of health. We could talk about nutrition, we could talk about movement, we could talk about emotional health, we could talk about a lot of different things, and we still could. Um, the thing that connected with me just now was just, I don't know, I think it's important to have people in your life who are wise and add back to your life, and that is what Venniece is to me. And so, thank you for joining me.
you're
All
welcome.
right, so before I get into, I have some questions that I want to ask you, but before I ask you the questions, I think it's a good time to kind of gauge from you how you're doing right now in this time. Like we're in quarantine and the world is in a little bit of chaos and fear, and I would love to hear kind of your response to that, or where are you in that space?
Well, it's interesting because right when the quarantine happened where we were at, which was Houston, it was actually the 2 days before the quarantine was going to happen. We were about to move from Austin to Houston.
Uh,
And in 72 hours, we were
yeah.
asked not to move to Houston. So we made a sidetrack detour to San Antonio. Which the day we
Oh
moved,
my God.
San Antonio was going into quarantine at 11:59 p.m. And
Oh
so
my God.
our quarantine experience has been filled with unexpected turns in life and just like a little bit of a roller coaster ride,
Yeah.
having to make some very hard
Yeah.
pivots in like basic things like where we were going to live. Now, luckily, we would never be
Yeah.
homeless. We have
I
people
bet.
to us, but yeah, definitely some unexpected,
Of course
just
you would.
twists. And yeah, and in the midst of that, I attribute my experience to my training and personal growth, but also my faith in
Mhm.
God. I live with a lot of peace,
Absolutely.
and so actually in this quarantine experience, I just completed a course that I'm going to offer to my community, which is all about, how do you pivot from panic and fear into peace and joy? Because I realized I have something that I can
Mhm.
contribute to this situation we're in, because it is scary.
Absolutely. Oh, that's
The unknown is
yeah.
a really scary place. And so I feel like I want to contribute to people around me and share the love. I don't have to be the only one. Now, I am concerned, but I'm being responsible, like
Mhm.
practicing social distancing, doing a
Yeah.
lot of hand washing, and I'm also really taking care of my body.
Yeah.
So I feel like, do those
Very
things.
nice.
And
Good.
yeah.
And you can
So,
be at peace about it. Yeah.
yes, totally. And be a peacemaker.
And be a peacemaker. You have peace and then you send it out. I like it. I like it. I like it.
And also, I would say just being
Okay,
like a
so
source of joy. Because today I was actually working with a
yeah.
lady, and she was like, like, I just really appreciate how much joy you bring every time you're around. And I was like,
Mm,
thanks. And I just love being that space for people too. So in the midst of the quarantine, right?
yeah. It is necessary because everybody, like a lot of people, are spreading a lot of fear and
Yeah.
all of that. So to have a little burst of joy, I think is awesome. It's a good gift.
Yes.
It's a good gift. All right, so I'm going to ask you some questions, and it really literally is just so people can kind of get to know you a little bit. And so I'm going to put on my spectacles because of the age
Okay,
difference. But all right, here we go.
good. Okay.
Um, about maybe 5 to 7 questions is what I'll ask. All
Okay.
right. So first question: what do you think about on long drives or flights?
Usually I think about the things I need to do. Because I always have like a lot going on in my life. I love long drives.
Yes.
and long distances because I know it's going to be an uninterrupted time for me to get things done.
Yes.
Years ago,
Yes.
I used to be like a workaholic, and trust me, doing the drives is not really being a workaholic for me, but I used to just sleep because I was so exhausted all the time. But now that I have
Yeah.
energy, I will usually get things done. Or if it's a drive I like there's some drives that I really love, I'll just like take in nature. And right now it's a bluebonnet season in Texas, so it's like just really getting present to the beauty of spring. Yeah, of course I've been to
Very
Colorado.
nice.
So man, I love
Ah,
Colorado.
that's, oh, it is just,
Those
it's
drives.
breathtakingly beautiful.
Yes,
Oh, it is
something
awesome.
you
Yeah.
can't capture the beauty in a phone or on a in a camera. You just
I've
can't.
tried.
No, I'm
Yeah,
like I'm
I've
not even
tried.
gonna
And
try.
to me, every time I try, like I fail and I think, you know what? Because I'm just supposed to be enjoying this.
Yeah,
Like, just enjoy it. Like, cut it out. Just
totally.
enjoy it. So, okay. Question number 2. So, oh, this I love this question for you. What gives you hope?
I would say, my story and my journey really gives me hope because I always think I was sharing with this morning. I do like live prayer on Facebook Monday through Friday, and I was sharing with everyone that I have this insane backstory. I used to be like a
Mhm.
very emotionally dysfunctional human being. And when I look at the journey I've been on for 20 years, the fact that I am sound in my mind is a real miracle.
Yeah.
And there's times like right
Oh,
now I'm going through a personal challenge, even though like I'm at peace, I experience a lot of joy. We've had a lot of transition,
yeah.
and that's a part of life.
Yeah.
But what brings me joy or hope is remembering the journey and remembering that like
Yeah.
in every phase God was with me, and he's given me
Absolutely.
everything I need for that
Yeah.
part of the journey, and he's always been so reliable. And then there's
Yeah.
this thing that I call grit. I have really
Mm.
developed a large capacity to be very gritty, and so inside of my
Mm.
development I always come back to who I am, and I'm not going to give up,
Yeah.
and I'm going to keep pursuing. I'm very resilient, and I'm also very just I take things on wholeheartedly, and that brings me hope.
Mm.
So it's like, okay, even if I'm struggling
Yeah.
now, I can just remember who I am.
Yeah.
It's all going to be worked out. It's all going
Yeah.
to work out.
I love that term grit. Like that is so awesome. Like just the ability to like persevere, like no
Yeah,
matter what, just the ability to be kind of steadfast, immovable,
yeah.
always abounding. Like
Hmm.
that's a wonderful word. I love that. I
Yeah,
really
and the
do.
actual,
Yeah.
like a short definition of grit is firmness of
Yes.
character. And now,
Oh wow.
yeah, Sonia Martin, I was the most unreliable,
Yes.
flaky.
Oh.
So for me to be able to be like, no, I'm doing this and see it all the way through is such a miracle. you know that,
Oh.
and
And
that
that gives me hope.
it really
It
does.
gives me hope. Yeah.
I'm just going through
Yeah.
another
I'm like,
season.
oh,
I'm like, oh, I got this. It's all gonna work. But yeah, I would say that's it.
very nice. Very nice. Thank you. All right. Number 3. What's your guilty pleasure?
um, I would say Ben and Jerry's. I love Ben and Jerry's Chunky Munch.
Yeah.
So there's sometimes where Don's my husband, of course, we will go like, we'll
Yes.
be like totally random. We're like, let's go to the grocery store and let's get like a pint of ice cream. And I don't share my ice cream.
Yep.
So I tell him, like, this is mine. If you want some, you got to get your own chunk
Figure out yours.
because I don't share.
I understand that.
So yeah, and then I'm
I
just like
love that.
mentally prepared that I'm going to eat a whole pint by myself.
Yeah.
No regret.
And it's perfectly fine. No regret. Oh, I love that so much. Mine is blue bunny. Um, it's blue bunny. What do you? I think it's like a sundae. It has all the things that you would get on a sundae in an ice cream. It
Oh
is
my God.
like, oh my God, it's dangerous.
That's
Yeah. So
the
anyway, all right. Number 4.
oh.
Who's the one person who changed your life?
Ooh, I would say I used to have this boss. I worked for this personal growth and development company, and this boss, we had a lot of issues because she always reminded me of my mother. But she reminded me of the parts of my mother I don't particularly care for. So I think a lot of times when I was working
Yep.
with her, I
Yep.
was like dealing with my mother issues, and this poor woman had nothing to do with any of it. But I've never had anyone stand for my greatness and refuse
Mm.
to see me as small like she has. Like never. But the way she did it, she was a master coach. And she would coach me, and she'd push me. And I mean, it was a very hard 2 years of working with her.
Yeah.
But I needed
Yeah.
that kind of person in my life. And literally, she was a turning point person because like, have you ever met someone, they just call you on your stuff and they're ruthless about it, like they never let you
Yes.
just, she was that person for me. And I'd never had anyone stand for me like that, where she was just like
Mm.
relentless.
Oh,
Yeah, and it was like
yeah. No,
brutal.
that's awesome.
I've actually reached out to her multiple times and said, I know I've told you this before, but like, thank you so much for being my boss. And I haven't worked with her for like
Yes.
15 years, you know? But yeah, it was,
She's like, yeah, got it.
she's like, you already told me, but thanks again. But it's like, and I told her, it's like, it was such a turning point years of my life
Yeah.
where that's when I was really
Yeah.
making that change from being unreliable to
Yeah.
being reliable. She was right
Yeah.
in that messy middle of it.
Yeah. I think that is one of the best lessons really for all of us, where like some things we can do on our own, some things we can go and take a class, we can read a book, we
Yeah.
can go to God. Then sometimes the answer is actually having somebody
Oh,
who
totally.
like calls you out and like pulls you to the carpet and says, no, this is not acceptable. And
Yeah.
you have to occur differently because I
Yeah.
see your greatness, or
Totally.
because,
Yeah.
so I think that is incredible. Yeah.
I tell people like you're the answer to someone's prayer. I
Yeah.
believe that. It's like, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you have
Mm.
to be a hard butt or like,
Yeah.
it's who you are for people and your commitment and your
Yeah.
stand for their greatness. I really
Mm.
believe like God created us to live in fullness, and that all of
Yeah.
who He made us to be is on full display. And people are
Yeah.
waiting on us to be that, to be the fullest version of who we were designed to be. And, part
No,
of
that's so true.
my journey in the past few years has been in coaching on the online space. And I cannot tell you how many emails
Yeah.
I've gotten, how many messages, people just saying, like, thank you for what you do. And here I take it for
Yeah.
granted. But then people like I've never met
Yeah.
before. Like I met this one lady, she sent
Yeah.
a long email. This is like 2 years ago. And she said, I've been following you on Facebook for like a year. She said, and you inspired me to go start a
Mm.
business. I had never even seen her comment on anything I did. And she was like, I
Wow.
started a t-shirt shop in the New Jersey airport. And I did it. And I did it because of your page and what you post. And it really inspired me to follow my dream. I was like, really?
That is so incredible.
It's like
Yeah.
such
And
a
here you are just going on with your life, like,
yeah.
doing your thing. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's incredible. I
we're the
love
answer
that.
to someone's prayer. That's the reason why with your YouTube channel, and I really feel like do it, and even if it's not perfect, even if it's not like how you want it, just do it because someone's going to connect with that, and it's going to be what they need to
Yeah.
hear, because I believe that we have people assigned to our lives, and
Absolutely. And I will tell you, like I believe that wholeheartedly. And I think one of the things recently, like I'm finally shifting into the just do it, don't over edit, don't think it has to be perfect and all of that. Like I've received on just the few videos that I've done, I've received messages from my family, just kind of reminding me of things like who I am and how I occur to my family, and I just the little things. And I think just being inspired, and not just inspired but held accountable for doing it. I just think when I think of a person like who's very impactful in my life, it literally is you, like just holding me to it,
yeah,
like just do this, and what are you going to do this week, and
yeah,
like I think it is incredible to have someone in your life who does that,
yeah,
who kind of holds you to your word that you've given yourself.
yeah.
And I'm very thankful,
Oh,
very,
you're
very thankful for that.
because I know, like, she has something to
Mhm.
say.
All right.
We need to get it out of her.
I do. I have so many things to say.
I
I
know.
do. 100%. Because it's like I forgot that I have something to say. And I was on Sunday, I was listening to a church service, and he read the scripture, and he was like passing by the part of it that spoke to me, but it was just like, if you have a gift of speaking, speak. And I was just like, yeah, oh my God. Like just forgetting that, like, that's kind of what I do. It's kind of my thing, right?
Oh, it's
So
totally your
anyway,
thing, especially you, because I know you.
it's just
Yes.
my thing. Yeah, and just finding, and I think one of the important things is finding kind of where it fits in a new season of your life.
Yes,
Like,
absolutely.
where does the old thing that you've always done fit in the new place that you are? And that's kind of
Ooh,
what
can I
this
just say
is, just
something
kind
real
of
quick about
figuring
that?
out, like, absolutely. Yeah.
So, there have been times where, like, I've had like jobs, and like I was like, this is my purpose. Like, this is it
Yeah.
right here, right? And like for
Yeah.
whatever reason, like I had to transition out of that, or it didn't work out, or like my life changed. Like in one job, I got married, and
Yeah.
just life happens, right? And
Yeah.
I remember I used to think, like, I had a real crisis about that, because I would think, like, if I'm not doing this one thing, that I'm out of purpose. And then I took it even more, like, I'm out of God's will.
100.
And what I've discovered is
100.
I used to think there was only one way. I personally believe there
Yeah.
is not only one way it can look. And the only reason I really feel like part of why God put me in an online space was to show me, okay,
Yeah.
you have these results, you have these miracles happening, you have all this impact that you're
Yes.
making. Is it true that you're out of my will given what is happening around you? I mean, it was like God was really dealing with me about that. And it's like, no,
Yeah.
because the gift is in me.
Mm.
I can take the gift through an
Yeah.
online space. I can take the gift to a nonprofit. I can take the gift, I don't know, into fashion
Yeah.
designing. There's probably medicine. It's the gift is in me.
Yeah.
There's different expressions of it. And so I don't believe
Yeah.
anymore that there's only one way. Because if you miss it, Sonia, SOL for you.
Right. That's it.
I don't even think that's in
And
God's
that's
nature.
literally how I felt. Yeah.
That's
I
not his
truly felt
nature.
that. I believe that. Yeah. But I kept feeling very strongly like, and so I tried the customary ways to get back to that. And I
Mhm.
just kept feeling like that's not exactly what I'm supposed to do. And I knew it wasn't. Like I absolutely knew it wasn't.
Yeah.
But I kept feeling like you need to be on social media. And I was like, why do
Yeah.
I need to be on social media? That makes no sense. And I would put it off and put it off. But then there came a point, it was like, no, just do it. And
Yeah.
it helps to give yourself a challenge. And then for a
Yeah.
person who kind of wants to meet the challenges that you give yourself,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, just do that. Like,
Yeah.
and it's the foolish things of the world that confound the wise. Like, just do this, just do this thing. And
Yeah.
then I feel strongly like I'm tapping into the thing that I really, not just enjoy, but the thing that I was really kind of created to do. No matter what happens with
Yeah.
my 49 videos that I'm uploading before I'm 50, no matter what happens with that, I
Yeah.
feel like I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing.
That's awesome.
So
It's a really great
I
feeling.
agree.
Yeah.
It is. It really is. It's rewarding.
It is.
All right. So 2 more questions.
Okay.
All right. 2 more. I'm gonna try to pick the 2 good ones.
Ooh.
They're all good, but I'm gonna pick
Yes.
the good ones.
Okay.
So what is one thing in life that you are so glad that you did? Or what is one of the things in life you're so glad you did?
I mean, this is it's not a tough one. It's just like not super easy to speak about because I want to be responsible about how I say it. But I left a community of people that I knew wasn't a good fit for me. And I struggled for 6 years trying to like make something fit when I knew it wasn't. And it took a tremendous amount of something to leave. And, towards the end, I was getting sick. I was physically ill. And it was just a dysfunctional community. And I just couldn't leave. I could not leave. It was a very interesting experience, but it was the best. My husband and I, we both chose to leave. And well, actually, my husband chose to leave first. Then he was like, hey, we're not, this is a long story. But
Yeah, got it.
we've talked about it several times, and we were like, man, you know what? That's the best thing we could have ever done. It left us dealing with ourselves and our marriage in a way we'd never had. It really left me with, what do I really want in community? What is it that I'm unwilling to be a part of?
Yeah.
So it's really taken us a few years, like literally like 5 years, to really be kind of have closure with everything and then be free to give ourselves to community. Because we were like shell shocked. We were like, community is dangerous. You can't trust people.
Right. I got it. I understand. Yeah.
It was rough. And, it was just a journey, and God really healed us. So I feel like he did a lot of heart surgery, and it's like he removed all of the stuff that didn't work. And, in the past 2 years, we've been free to like be connected.
Yeah.
In a
I
functional.
understand that completely. Yeah. No, I got it. I understand that completely. And I think it's funny because the last question probably lends well to this. I'll ask it anyway, but I think it lends well to this, which is, what is the greatest gift that we can give ourselves?
The gift to walk away. I think so. I mean,
from whatever.
To walk away from things that don't work. I think also the gift of being honest with ourselves. I tell people it takes so much courage to be honest with yourself. It really does, because I think our human nature is designed to avoid or to control. We're either going to avoid or control. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix it. And that's a form of control, or just like pretend everything is okay, but it's not. So when we get to a point where we're like, okay, I'm going to actually really deal with this, it takes courage. And then to say, I'm going to walk away from this. It's a gift, because I feel like otherwise, like in my case, because I can only speak for myself, is I was going to die. I was going to spiritually and emotionally die. And I probably would have stayed married, but it would have been an empty marriage where it was just a shell of something, but it wouldn't have been alive. And so,
no, I got it.
And I can encourage people, like, you got, like, it may take something, but you can do it. And you're like,
can do it
better. Like, it's like this something in me is like, oh, I honored myself. You know what I mean? Like, I honored myself, even though it was hard, even though it was painful. I honored myself, and that's a gift. Yeah.
I so relate to that. I think that it's hard to walk away from something that is wrapped in what you perceive as right, and
Yes,
you
totally.
walk away from it, and then you feel like you've walked away from all that is right. And it's hard
Totally.
to kind of redefine what right is for your life, right? And I have a so I understand it. I also have a very someone who's very special to me also, who relationally it's
Yeah.
the exact same thing. It's the concept that works in kind of all the things,
Yeah.
right? Like whether it is walking away from a career miserable in, or
Yeah.
whatever, something that you felt like you had all of your purpose was in that. And the person that's very close to me, all of their purpose was in a relationship with a person,
Yeah.
and it was destructive.
Yeah.
And it did not bring out, not only did it not bring out the best in them, it just brought out really ugly parts of their
Yeah.
personality, and not in the best of ways, right? And
Yeah.
the toughest thing is for them to walk away from that, because it's not only familiar, but
Mm.
it feels like I'm supposed to stay in this no matter what. Like I'm just supposed to stay no matter what it looks like.
Yeah.
And the fact is, it actually is not healthy for the
Yeah.
person to stay. So I love that you, because I think it is a gift to be able to trust God enough to walk away from something that you feel is not, it's not good for you. And I think that's a wonderful thing.
One of the things
So
that I
thank you for
do,
sharing that.
you're welcome. I ask myself,
Mm-hmm.
what in God in his nature, what would he want
Yeah,
me to do? There have been times
yeah,
where I've had women email me and they're like, my husband beats me every night, but I can't leave him because I'm married. And I mean, it's a
yeah,
very challenging
yeah,
conversation to have with someone via email. But one of the
yeah,
things I asked me to
yeah.
consider is, if you had a daughter and she was being
Right,
beaten every night, what would you advise her?
right.
And the other thing I asked them to consider is, what would God want for your kid? Or what would God want
Exactly.
for you? God in his loving nature as a loving father,
Yeah,
he want you to go through that? Like,
right.
it's just contradictory to his nature.
Absolutely.
So it's like, would God want me to stay in this environment or with this person that is not healthy? The
Yeah,
challenge is like what you were saying, when it's perceived as the right way.
absolutely.
So,
Yeah,
it's so easy to just say something, but it's like we're having to navigate through situations and circumstances. And I'm not here to say it's easy at all.
right,
It's,
right.
it, I go back to courage. It
Mm-hmm.
takes a tremendous amount of courage to be honest with ourselves.
Yeah,
It takes a tremendous amount of courage to walk away. And
yeah,
whatever it is, just like you're saying, a career you
yeah,
hate, a
yeah,
relationship that doesn't work, people
yeah,
that bring you down.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, what a great
Venniece.
conversation.
It is. I know I could go on and on. You
It's
know, I
part of the
can't.
matter.
I think yes. Thank you so much for taking the time out. I know your schedule is very busy, and I'm hoping that I can place all of your, like, the things that you would like to share with people who may be following me, my little,
Yeah.
like, 12 pack of followers.
Yes.
But I would love to include that information so that people
Cool.
can continue to glean from your wisdom, because I think that's important. So thank
Thank
you so much. And for
you.
all of you, thank you, Venniece. So for all of
Awesome.
you
Thank
who,
you, everybody.
thank you. So thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. If you would like to continue to get notifications of the videos that I upload, please subscribe. You are absolutely welcome to choose the bell notification and like this video if you want to continue in conversations like this. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.